Oh my goodness. Gosh, I'm kind of far away. Huh? Far away. Bonjour. Bonjour everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Louisa. You are watching Lulu C'est la vie, and for today's video, I'm feeling sick. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably know by now that I've been feeling sick for a few days now, and I'm trying to get better as much as I can, but it's not that easy. So I was gonna do a hair video, but I don't want to wet my hair. So I decided to share with you my recipe to my what am I gonna call this, immune system booster tea. It's a tea that I like to do when my immune system is low and I am feeling sick, but I don't have like fever or extreme, you know, craziness. I've been drinking this tea for about 2 days now, and I have to say I already feel better. I'm going to share with you the recipe. Let me give you a quick disclaimer before we get there. If you are under medication, if you are pregnant, if you are breastfeeding, please be careful. Do not play with herbs like that. Do not stop your medication if it was prescribed. If you are on antibiotics, please finish taking your antibiotics. And then go and get that tea. This tea is made with 1, 2, 3 different herbs, one root, 2 herbs that are quite powerful and can have some interact with the medication you're taking. Same thing if you have high blood pressure medication, if you're on insulin, things like that. Please be careful, do your research, ask your doctor. I'm not a doctor, I'm just like you guys, a normal woman who does her research online and like to use natural option whenever she can. I am just fighting a very small cold right now, which will get better within the next 5 days, because it's been 2 days or 3 days already. So yeah, and that's the only goal of this, is to share with you something simple, something affordable, something natural to fight a common cold, or just to help your immune system when you feel like it's a little low and you're scared of getting a cold or something. All right, with no further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so there's 3 different ingredients, no, 4 ingredients to my tea. We're going to use thyme, sage, garlic, and honey, and hot water, because it's an infusion, duh. So right now I'm going to take my iPad, and I didn't ask you for anything. I'm going to take my iPad and we're going to go through the benefits of each herb, so we have a better idea what we're dealing with. I'm gonna start with sage. I love sage. It has a whole lot of awesome properties. If you follow me, you probably know by now that this is one of my favorite herbs. I've used it in DIYs for skin and hair product. Sage is an herb that's been used by Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine. They use it to treat diabetes, high blood pressure, any type of inflammation in your body. It has so many properties. What I found online, it balances cholesterol, combats obesity, helps with Alzheimer's and dementia symptoms. It treats menopausal symptoms. Oh my gosh, yes. This herb is great for not just menopausal, but also just regular cycle. It has anti-diarrheal activity, and it treats diabetes symptom, which I just said earlier. So those are just a few of the properties that sage has. The reason why I put it in this tea, it's for its anti-inflammatory properties. All right, the second herb I'm going to talk about is also one of my all-time favorite. It's thyme. I love thyme, and maybe it's the French in me, but thyme, just like lavender, thyme reminds me of home. It's the smell, the flavor, the look of the actual herb. It reminds me of home. It reminds me of the south of France. So let's check out the properties of thyme. And I think this and garlic is are the two most powerful herbs in this tea. So thyme helps to fight sore throats. It prevents food poisoning. It may fight cancer, but it lowers blood pressure and cholesterol, which is why if you are on cholesterol or blood pressure medication, please be careful. It boosts your mood, and it's a natural remedy to bronchitis. So thyme will really help with those dry, achy, sore throat, with your breathing, you know, like the lumps, all this bronchitis situation is really going to help you clear all this out. It's gonna heat up your body just like ginger would. It's gonna help when you get a cold. It's gonna help your body to warm up a little bit. Yeah, it's just I love thyme very much. All right, now let's talk about the benefits of garlic. Garlic, okay, first of all, garlic is I don't even have words for this. I think it's one of the most powerful natural antibiotics you can find in nature. Point blank. Like, that's my personal thought. You can disagree with me, but I feel like garlic is one of the most powerful antibiotics that you can find just in the ground, you know? All right, so the benefits of garlic: it combats heart disease. It's a potential cancer fighter. It controls blood pressure. It treats cold and infection. And it helps reverse hair loss. It helps improve dementia symptoms, and it treats diabetes. Getting a little bit deeper into the treatment of cold and infection, garlic's antimicrobial, antiviral, and antifungal properties can help relieve the common cold as well as other infection, thanks especially to its allicin. I'm not sure if I pronounce this properly. Allicin, I will write it right here for you to read it yourself. But yeah, garlic is a very, very powerful antimicrobial, antifungal, antiviral root that works wonders. Now, the cons of garlic, of drinking garlic tea, is, well, the body odor. You know, when you eat or drink garlic, you end up having garlic breath, which is great if you want to run away from vampires. But in this year of time where there's absolutely no vampires anywhere, it can suck. Personally, I drink this tea when I'm home, when I know that nobody's going to be around me. I don't mind garlic breath. I love garlic bread, but I don't mind garlic breath. But the thing with garlic is that it's not just your breath, it's your pores. It comes out through your pores too. So that's something to take in consideration. Now, there are other options. You can use garlic powder, which comes also in pills. Now, keep in mind that when you turn garlic into powder, you lose a lot of the properties, as opposed to if you were to use the raw herb or roots. So yes, you will probably have a lot more, like you would probably have 2 garlic cloves in one pill, but you will also lose a lot of its property. So that's something to take in consideration. Personally, if I have it at home, I like to use the natural plant. Right now, I do have organic garlics at home. I grow thyme and sage in my kitchen. I also have the dry herbs because I harvest a lot this summer, so I've been drying it, and I have a lot of that storage in my kitchen too. So with no further ado, I'm going to show you how I make my immune system booster infusion, and I will see you guys right after. All right, so the first ingredient is going to be garlic, some thyme, either fresh or dried, some sage. Here I have dry sage that I harvest this summer, some Hanukkah honey or regular honey, a teapot, a knife, pair of scissors, and a tablespoon. So I like to cut my garlic into small pieces and let it oxidize just for a little bit. That allowed all of the good properties to infuse into your tea a little bit faster. Then we're going to cut some fresh thyme. So here you want to go for the freshly grown branches, I want to say. So in thyme you're going to have a wooden part, which you don't want to put in your tea because it leaves kind of a bitter taste, a harsher taste to the tea. You want to go for the soft branch that are a light green color. But if you don't have fresh thyme, you can also use about 1 tablespoon of dry thyme. Again, I like to cut it in small pieces to let all of the aroma out. And lastly, about 1 tablespoon of sage. Then we're going to put all of our herbs into a teapot. We are adding a little bit of honey here. I decided to go with the Manuka honey. And finally, the hot water. And you want to try not to spill the water like I do, please. And then stir that water for a little bit. Cover your teapot, let it sit for about 10 minutes. Make sure the teapot is covered, and then your tea is ready. Alright you guys, well, it's pretty simple, nothing crazy, you're just making tea. Now keep in mind, these are the herbs that I personally like to use, and you don't have to use exactly the same herbs. This is just to give you an idea of what you can do with what you have in your kitchen. Alright, a few things I want you to keep in mind. Always make sure that the herbs that you are using come from a organic place that do not use pesticides and crazy things like that, because you're gonna end up drinking that too. The best way to go, if you can, is to grow them yourself. If you have a green thumb, grow them in your kitchen, put it by the window, water them every week or a little bit more often if you can. Spray some water on them. Those herbs don't need a lot of maintenance. They're pretty easygoing, especially thyme. Thyme likes to have a rough time. You can let thyme, you know, dry out for like a week and it will not die on you. Sage likes to be outside a little bit more, but she's manageable during the winter time indoors. You just won't have as many leaves as you would if you had her outside in the summertime. When it comes to garlic, I got mine from Trader Joe's. It is organic. I trust their products. And voila. Another thing is, feel free to add or take out herbs if you don't like them. Like if you can't stand the taste of the smell of garlic, just take it out and use something else. Put some ginger in there, add some lemon, whatever works for you, whatever flavor you're comfortable with. Research their properties online and then see if it's gonna help you in any ways. If it's just because you like the smell or the taste of it, well, that's good enough for me, as long as it makes you feel good. Lastly, I usually, like I said earlier, use this tea when I feel a little low, when I feel like I'm about to have a cold. I won't say that this prevents the cold from hitting me. If I have an infection, I will have to fight it. But I have to say that it doesn't feel as hard as if I didn't do anything. If I only took ibuprofen or Dayquil or NyQuil, I feel worse when I just do that. This helps me to maintain an overall energy to my body. I can think a little bit more like straight. Like if I wasn't drinking that tea for the past 2 days, I'm not sure I could have put a whole video together today. Okay, so you know, it just helps me keep my energy level, keeps my brain focused, and when you're a mom to a 5-year-old, that helps a lot. All right, you guys, this is it for this video. I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned some new stuff. Let me know in the comments below if you made the tea. If you have a tea that you actually like to do yourself, what is your recipe? I would love to try it. I would love to know. So please, please, please share with me. I think that's it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I will see you guys next week with a new video. Until then, have a beautiful life. Have a happy Thanksgiving weekend. Au revoir et à bientôt. Okay, so the first few I don't just use the if you are having a hard time with your cycle, drinking sage tea on a regular basis is gonna help your Oh, c'est trop difficile.
Hey, c'est la vie.